Hey there, it's Brian with brandstack.co, and today I'm going to show you how to customize our newest section, Stylized Heading. Now we are here on our back end. We're going to find the theme where we've installed this section and click Customize. And then we're going to navigate to the page where we want to install this section or use this section. And we're going to go to the About page. Now we kind of have this blur, but we want to add a heading at the top of this page. So over here on the left, we're going to click Add Section, and then we're going to search for Stylized Heading. Now I'm going to jump around here for a minute because I want to add the heading text first before I get into the customizations. And there are 3 heading lines. So first it's going to be About Us, and you'll see it pops up right here. And then I'm going to go to the next line and say, Learn what sets. And then I'm going to go to the third line and say brand stack apart. And now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to the top now so I can actually walk you through the different customizations. So first of all, we can change the background color of the section. We use this light gray on our website, and we're going to start with that. And then we can adjust the top padding and the bottom padding. For this section, we tend to use about 72 pixels on top and bottom, and then we can hide this section completely on either desktop or on mobile. So now we go into the different settings for every single heading. Now remember, we've added 3 headings. We have About Us, Learn What Sets, and then Brand Stack Apart. Now right now they're all on one line, but we are going to play around with it a little bit. So within every heading, we have the option to change the heading text, which we've already done. And then we have the option to change the heading size. Now I'm going to make heading 1 a little bit smaller than the rest. And it says About Us. Now at this point, I can change the color, or I can actually use this color gradient instead. And this is just the default colors it comes with, but you can click in here and you can change those colors to be whatever you want. So we can do something like that and make this go black. Something kind of like that, but maybe we won't go all the way black. Let's see. Let's go like a deep, deep purple. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that is our color gradient for the About Us. And then we can change the font family to whatever font you are using on your Shopify store. All these fonts here are the same fonts built into Shopify. So we're going to find the font that we use on our website, which is Eurostyle Next, and it is the semi-bold. We're going to hit select, and you'll see that that has changed there. And now we are going to click this checkbox that says put this heading on its own line, which will put it on its own line. And then the last option we have for this heading is to adjust the line height. Now this setting only applies if this checkbox is checked. If not, this setting does nothing. And I will show you how to change the line height later on if you choose to not use the headings on its own line. But we're going to put it on its own line, and then we're going to adjust the line height a little bit. So moving on to heading number 2, we want this to be quite a bit larger. We're making something to really stand out here, and we're going to have it completely black. So we could change the text here if we wanted to, but we're going to keep it black. We're not going to use a gradient for this one. But we are going to change the font to be our font that we use on this website, semi-bold. And then we're also going to put this on its own line. And then at that point, we can adjust the line height for this as well. And just kind of be flipping between mobile and desktop. Make sure it all looks good in both places. And then lastly, we are on the third heading. So this one says brand stack apart. We want this to be just as large as line 2, maybe even a little bit larger. And then we also want this third line to really stand out. So we're going to use a gradient on this one as well. And I'm going to get the same colors that I used for the gradient above. So we have this first one is this purple, and this second one is this darker purple. And you know what? That doesn't even stand out quite enough. I want it to stand out even more. So we could do something like... That's pretty cool. A little purple here, all the way over to green. That's pretty cool. So play around, find what works for your website. And then we're going to change the font here as well. Now I want this one to stand out even more. So instead of semi-bold, I'm going to go with bold and hit select. And then I'm also going to put this heading on its own line. Now it already is on its own line because heading 1 and 2 are on their own line, but I want to be able to adjust the line height, and I can't do that unless I put this heading on its own line. So now at this point, I can adjust the line height of just line number 3. Again, pop over to mobile, see what's working, see what's not. Obviously, this is kind of big, so you might want to lower it, make it fit on mobile and stuff like that, but I'll let you play around with it more. So we're gonna make the line height a little bit more here, so 75, and that looks really, really cool. Now we have a couple more settings. We can change everything to initial, which is just how you typed it. We can make everything lowercase, or we can make everything uppercase. We're gonna keep it initial, and then we can make everything left, center, or right. Now the last setting I wanna walk you through is the line height for the entire section. Now right now, this doesn't do anything, and that is because all of the options are using their own line heights. But if we go through and we don't have any of these on its own line, you'll see now that this line height applies to the entire section. So it doesn't make a ton of difference right here on desktop, but if I were to pop over to mobile, you'd see that it makes a big difference. So we'd want to make sure, if we were going to have all of these on the same line height, or on the same line, we'd want to make sure that the line height looks really good. So I actually have this stylized heading right down here that was already built before this, and this is all on one line. So on heading number 1, I have Y, just like that. And then on heading number 2, I have brand stack. Why use brand stack? And now these are not using their own headings. So they're using the built-in line height down at the bottom of the section. So if you look here on mobile, you'll see that I can adjust the line height and make it look really good. So play around with it. There's so many cool things you can do to make your headings really stand out and be unique. And really beautiful. I'm gonna get this back to where I think it should be. So something like that looks really good, and I can't wait to see what you do with your with this section on your website.